Hey folks, Colin here from Sumthins Recording, and today I'm going to show you how to mix rock guitars to get them wide and powerful. We're looking at rock guitars today, but before we dive in, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper into the mixing process and really start to hone your workflow, then I have just the thing for you. It is my 7-step mixing checklist. It's a simple PDF that will give you a step-by-step guide to the mixing process to help you get professional, radio-ready mixes without the hassle and without the guesswork. It is completely free, and you can download it below using the link in the video description. Now let's take a look at these guitars here. Let me play you this pair of guitars, as they stand. I'll play you them in the mix, and then I'll solo up this pair of heavy guitars. These are the two guitars we're looking at here. They're going to this bus here, heavy guitar level. Let me play you what they sound like in the mix, and then I'll solo them up. You can hear the guitars by themselves. So they're sounding pretty good to start here. It's a double track guitar, double tracked heavy guitar, one panned hard left, one panned hard right. So we're getting a little bit of width there, right? Two big guitars, hard pan to each side. But we're going to take it one step further with a little bit of widening, but selective widening. So one thing I took from watching all the old episodes of Into the Layer on Pensado's Place all those years ago was that you don't always have to widen the entire spectrum. So we can take just a portion of the frequency range and widen that. I've never been a fan of having low end hard pan to the side. So whether it's bass or low synths, having them hard panned, I've never felt that having low end on the sides was that tasteful. It can get a little bit too heavy and a little bit too muddy, and it can make your song feel a little bit gloopy on the sides, a little bit messy. So what we're going to do here is we're going to widen just the top end or just the high mids of this guitar. So just where the heart of the sound is residing. So we can open our EQ here and take a look at where the heart of these guitars is lying. So for me, I don't want to do any of this area down here. I don't want to widen any of the mud. I'm going to leave the mud where it is, hard panned left and right. But anything from it looks like about 600 up, we could probably push that out a little bit further. So we're going to push the high mids and the top end out a little bit further. This is where we're going to get our width from while maintaining the power of this guitar. We're not going to push the low end out or the low mids out. Things could get messy and phasey. I don't want to deal with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull in our binaural pan plugin, and we're going to put in a splitter here. So after our EQ, we'll put in a splitter plugin, and we're going to put the splitter into frequency split mode. So this side of the spectrum is on below our frequency point, and then the opposite side is above our frequency point. So let's set our frequency point to about 600 or so, and then we'll put our binaural pan plugin on the top there. So let's take a listen to the bottom and then the top end here. So there's our low mids, everything below about 600. Let's listen to everything above. So for me, that's what I want to push out. I don't want to push anything below about 600 out. That's the stuff that's our low mid area and our low end. That's our low heat. I want to keep that where it is. I don't want to push that out any further. And we could always bring that in too. We could put a binaural pan plugin on this side. And we could narrow that if we wanted to. I'm not at the moment. We'll see when we get there. So let's go back here to this side of our spectrum. I'm going to turn off the low mids, and we're just going to listen to our top end, and we're going to start pushing it out a little bit. That actually feels pretty nice right there at about 112. I pushed it all the way up to 200% for you so you can hear what it sounds like. Gets pretty wide there going all the way out. I'm liking this 110, 112 area. It's just a nice bit of width to push the top end out a little bit farther and spread it a little bit. Take a listen. We'll do a bypass before and after one more time. So just a little bit of width there, a little bit of width to push these guitars, spread them a little bit, just the top end, but we're gonna make sure we keep our power on the bottom. So let's take a listen to our bottom here now. We'll put it back in with our top end spread wide. For me, the added benefit of widening just a portion of the sound like this gives the effect of sounding like there's 4 guitars rather than 2. So we have our pair at the top, what it sounds like, and then we have our pair at the bottom that it sounds like. So we have, sounds like there's some that are a little bit crunchier, a little bit higher up on top, and then it has, sounds like there's a pair that's a little bit fatter. So it gives the illusion that we've quad tracked these guitars instead of just double tracked like this. Listen one more time. So we widen just the top end, just the high mids and the top end, just the heart of that sound, just what we want to push out a little bit. We keep the low mids and the low end right where they are, hard panned, increases our width of our electric guitars, and it increases the power, the sense of power we get from our guitars. One last thing we're going to do is we're going to see what we can do about pulling the low part in a little bit. We're not going to go too far because I don't want to get too close to the mono end here. I want to keep my bass in the middle. Let's see what we can do here. Right there sounds pretty good. Everything above it was a little bit to like the 90 area or 86 was a little bit, it sounded a little too extra, too muddy. Seemed like it increased the mud, but right there at about 82 sounded good, which is sometimes what I do if I just have a pair of guitars. I put them at about 82. It gives them a nice sense of power. So let's put it back together now, and we'll do an A-B on our widening plugins here. So remember, this one here, binaural pan 2, that's tucking in our low end, our low mids. That's bringing them a little bit towards the center, and then our binaural pan over here, our regular one, not our number 2, is widening our high mids and our top end. So tucking the low mids in a little bit, narrowing them a little bit, actually makes them a little bit less present in the mix. So it seems like the guitars get a little bit crunchier up on top, and it seems like we did a little bit of a cut in the low mid area. That's not too bad. I liked the weight we had beforehand, so I'm gonna get rid of that plugin. I prefer the weight of having those on the side, 100%. So we're gonna keep this top end one. So one more A/B here, quick review. All we're doing, putting our splitter plugin in, finding where the heart of our sound is. So looks about 600 hertz and up. So we've got our splitter plugin in. Then we're putting our binaural pan on just 600 and up. So we have our splitter doing just 600 and up. We have our binaural pan plug in there, just ever so slightly widening our top end, giving us a little bit of extra width and giving us an extra sense of power on our guitars. One more time, before and after on this width plugin. Quick tip to get your rock guitars wide and powerful. I hope that was helpful for you. Like I said, if you're ready to take your mixes to the next level and really start dialing in your workflow as an engineer, then I have just the tool for you, and it is completely free. It's my 7-step mixing checklist. You can download it below and start creating more professional mixes in less time. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.